Welcome back to Spotlight. I'm here with Shayna Smith of Smith Associates and Judy Haycraft of Ballas and Capel, right?
Capel, yeah.
Capel? Oh,
That's
Capel
good.
sounds better though, I think. Capel.
Whatever you like.
Ballas and Capel. And we're going to talk about an upcoming leadership conference. Welcome to Spotlight. Good to see you both.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Again.
Yeah.
Good to be back.
Yeah.
You're going to soon get co-host status.
Anytime.
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 I know what you, and you probably,
You
you're
know.
probably the only person that when I'm talking to you, I don't get a word in.
So tonight we'll be very quiet.
No, you're not. Well, we're already under the 30 o'clock. Leader cast. This is what, the second or the third?
Third year.
Third year. And what is the goal? What's your design to do?
Well, it's an annual event that we started in 2011 where we have it's a rebroadcast of a simulcast event that occurs in Atlanta in May every year. And it is basically a gathering of leaders, but it's not your typical setting as far as, we typically hear leaders, we think about political leaders or business leaders, but this is something that is reflective of society where we have leadership that occurs in all different levels of our society. So,
And what they talk about?
Judy, what they talk about?
Well, every year we have a theme. So this year's theme is Simply Lead. And it's really trying to find ways to create simpler ways to remove the distraction. Because I think that's one of the biggest challenges we were just talking about, the competing conflicts that we all have to deal with on a day-to-day basis. How do you find balance amongst all of that? How do you focus on the things that are important? How do you prioritize? So whilst all the different speakers that we have this year, they come from a myriad of different walks of life, the central topic is really how do we achieve and how do we grow as leaders in amongst all of this?
These persons that's going to be talking to us and consider themselves leaders and we consider leaders, do they have a view of competition? Because I'm not sure. I've been looking at competition. I'm not sure that competition is really so good as a motivational force. Do they say anything about that?
I think one of the things that comes out about competition is looking at yourself as a leader and whether you're holding back people in your team because you feel threatened by them. And again, I think that one of the great things about the day is, if you're willing to come with an open mind and do some introspection, is you can do some good soul searching through a lot of the questions that are brought up through the course of the day.
And two, collaborating with other leaders.
Yeah.
You feel if you're competing with these other leaders, don't you tend to lose that collaborative effort?
You do.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the things where what we liked about the event and what drew us into the event in the first place, where it is, apart from, being inspired, getting a different perspective or worldview as it were, but varied, because we have persons that come from educational backgrounds, we have persons that come from like the fashion industry. Last year we had the CEO for the Burberry company, talking about her experience as a leader for a global firm. And that could be applicable to somebody who may be a supervisor currently on their job, but aspiring to higher levels of management, to give them insight into what leadership is about and make you more effective in terms of collaboration. Because now locally, you're able to interact with other persons who may have similar roles, but you would normally be able to interact with and make those network connections that can benefit you.
Okay. Who you have coming?
Okay.
This time? Not who you have coming. Who's going?
Yeah, that's why one thing we need to
They will not
clarify.
be there in the flesh. We do not wish
Yeah.
to mislead anyone.
Yeah.
Please don't come and look for Jack Welsh.
Yeah. Who's going to be speaking in the leader cast?
Okay, well, this year we have 9 very dynamic presentations that will be done. We have Jack Welch, who's the former chairman and CEO of General Electric, Andy Stanley, best-selling leadership author and communicator. He was one of the speakers from last year, I believe.
Yep.
New to the lineup this year is the head men's basketball coach of Duke University and Team USA, Mike Korisky. Did I say that right?
I think he likes to call himself Coach K.
Okay, there you go. Coach K will be there, and he's the head coach for Duke University men's team. We also have Sonia Richards-Ross, the 2012 London Olympic gold medalist and track and field. Dr. Henry Cloud, best-selling author and leadership consultant. We have a Navy SEAL and star of the 2012 movie Act of Valor, LCDR Rourke Denver. John Maxwell, best-selling author and leadership expert. David Allen, best-selling author of Getting Things Done and a productivity expert. And Condoleezza Rice, Secretary of State 2005-2009. And she will also be there in an interview with John Maxwell.
So it's a big lineup.
Yeah,
This would be
full day.
And the thing about LeaderCast, the company that put this product together, because essentially it is a product that gets bigger and bigger every year, is that some of the leaders, speakers you're going to know. I mean, people like Condoleezza Rice and Jack Welch, everybody wants to hear them. But it's actually some of the other ones who have not the more interesting stories to tell, but they do have some, they come from very interesting backgrounds.
Yeah.
Like David Allen, he had something like he'd had 35 jobs by the age of 35. And had got himself in all sorts of trouble, but then he went on. He basically came up with this productivity theory, which he then developed, and he sold it on to companies like Lockheed Martin. And now he's like a best-selling author. He has this, it's called Getting Things Done, GTD, and it's all about time management and prioritizing and focusing.
Which all of us need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're certainly going to get from him that failure is important.
Yeah, well, he says that. John Maxwell says
That's
that.
how we
And
learn.
it's kind of
Yeah.
a common theme as well.
Yeah.
Stepping out of the comfort zone. Knowing that you've got to get back on the horse and keep on going.
Yeah.
Okay. And generally, what can we expect from the LeaderCast in terms of information, and what should it do to us mentally and spiritually?
Well, let me run through the format for the day, and then Judy
Yeah.
can fill in. As far as the format for the day, it's typically a full day. Each presentation is about a half hour long. So what we do is at certain points in the program, we will stop and have reflection, where persons can share impressions that they may have or ask a question that we discuss, for a few minutes before we move on. So it gives us time to kind of, soak it in and see how it applies to us within ourselves locally or professionally or even privately. Because oftentimes, we try to separate the career from the home life, and really and truly you only have one life. So, it's one of the things, especially for me with the speakers last year, it really hit home as far as, trying to live two lives it's taxing, it's exhausting. So there are principles, there are methods in terms of combining and, making yourself more productive, as Judy was speaking about earlier. So that goes through the whole day. We have morning break, afternoon break, and we have lunch. So lunch is included in the price of registration. And, having a good time of networking and fellowship. Because again,
Yeah.
I think one of the biggest things is when persons get to interact with persons, they don't, they typically won't be there. We're also anxious and looking forward to students. We have quite a bit of students that have been sponsored. So we're confirming them as well now to be a part of that group, because we believe leadership is about legacy. And it's very important that we groom our young people and give them the exposure that they need from now to start to gain the experience that they will need for later on.
And I mean, on that note as well, we still have places left, but the tickets have gone very well this year. So we have some tickets left. We would love to see more of our HLSCC students there. We haven't had a lot of registrations yet, and it's something that we say every year that we want to see more of our young people there, because I think they particularly will really benefit from some of the lessons, the philosophies, the ideas that they're going to get from this day. And I think a lot of us, we're kind of on the gravy train. We go through our daily lives, we're trying to get everything done, and we don't take time to stop and think. And I think this is what this day really does. It allows you to sit there and absorb all of that information, talk to other people about it. As Shana said, we do a number of networking activities throughout the day. We really try and make sure people have fun as well, because that's a big thing. You're taking a day out of work. Yes, we want you to learn, but we also want you to enjoy it and come back next year. So if you're a student at the college, we have a special rate for you. As Shana said, we have a number of students already signed up from HLSCC and from some of the other schools. We also have special tickets that have been sponsored for not-for-profit organisations because we want to make sure that it's the conference is as widely available as possible.
How can you register?
Call us.
Well, at this juncture, we're definitely down to the wire because this is next week, Wednesday. We haven't said the date as yet, October 16th, 2013. They can call Annalie Morris at 494-9203 or myself at 541-1192. And we also have an online site, but it's a little long, so I don't know if you want to read it.
Or you
out.
can go on Facebook and just Google LeaderCast BVI.
There you go.
And it will give you all the
It pops
details. So,
So LeaderCast BVI on Facebook.
yeah.
And your number, that's 541-1192.
1192.
And
Or,
the
or
other-
Annalie Morris. She's at the Balance and Capella office, 494-9203.
All right, cool. And you want to give out the figures on how much it costs?
It is only $175 per person. That includes lunch and material that be given out as part of the conference. For groups of 5 or more, persons can register at $125. And for students, we took off $100. So student tickets are $75 per person.
And you get to hear 9 very important speakers.
Yep. Global leaders. That
Talk about varying aspects of leadership
Yeah.
and how you can bring out that leadership in you.
yeah. Yep.
Leadership quality in you. Well, you fall into the club.
Oh wow.
Anything we missed?
Sponsors.
Yeah, we want to really say thank you again to our sponsors this year. Starting from the top, National Bank, Right Way, New Haven BVI, BVI Beacon, O'Neill O'Mundy Shipping, Premier Dental, BCQS, Martin Kenny and Associates, Infinite Solutions, Joma, Muran Ozans, Harney's, Oyster Publishing, Nagico and Digicel. All these companies are also affording the students and our non-profit attendees to come. So they are making it possible for those persons
And
to
we hope
to
that they're
benefit and
sending
learn.
their employees as well.
Yeah.
Well, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
And they say, I just got a text say JTV is a sponsor.
Okay. Well, thank you, JTV, for coming on board.
Yeah.
That was quick.
JTV is a sponsor.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you, Shana. Thank you, Judy, for coming.
Thank you very
to
much for having
Spotlight,
us.
And thanks for the leadership conference. I'm sure it's going to be very important and interesting.
Yes, very much so.
Yes. We're going to come back with Laura Lee, Connor, Dr. Ronald McInerney, and Mr. Marcus Holly. And we're going to be talking about gender issues, domestic violence, status of children, the protocols, if you are for victims of domestic violence, and a host of other issues. Having how you develop a healthy relationship. Yes, how you develop a healthy relationship. All of those things we're going to talk about when we come back after these words from our sponsors. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Spotlight is brought to you by the National Bank of the Virgin Islands, Clarence Thomas Limited, the BVI Tourist Board, and CCT Global Communications.